Saturday, Saturday. Hello. Welcome to our book chat, the first one of the summer. I hope you guys are having a great day. There's Leesa. Happy Saturday, you guys. What a day yesterday, right?
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you
Oh
so
my,
much for having me. I
of
just want to say
course.
that first off, yeah, thanks so much for selecting Heflin Rose and for your kindness and for reading. And
You know I was going to select. I mean, every time you put out a book, I like absolutely adore. So
oh,
look, I love your hair.
thank you.
Oh my gosh, I
Yours
love
too.
it. Oh,
Same, right at you.
I just did a big chop yesterday, so it's too hot.
I
So
love
I
it.
was like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't. Thank you.
Yep, it looks
So
good.
I'm super thrilled that you are our first book. We do a summer reading series. Hey, Nia, we do a summer reading series since 2018.
Yeah, yeah.
So you are our first book of the summer, Half Blown Rose. And for
Thank
everyone
you.
that's coming in, camera's crooked. Hold on, guys. This is Miss Leesa Cross Smith, and she's the author of Half Blown Rose. But you are also the author of Every Kiss a War, Whiskey and Ribbons. That's when I first met you, was with Whiskey and Ribbons.
Yes.
Essay collection, So We Can Grow, and This Close to Okay, which was your previous book before Half Blown Rose.
Yes.
So congratulations on Half Blown Rose.
Thank
I
you.
have to say, I picked this book because to kick off the summer, I thought that it was a little departure from what I felt like I was going back to Whiskey and Ribbons, but all of the sex and the love, and it was just, I love the storyline.
Well,
So
thank
can you
you.
tell us a little bit about, because this is your first time on Diverse Spines. You've been on Spines and Vines
Right.
for Literary Wind Down. So if you could tell the audience a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to go into how you came up with this lovely book.
Yeah, well, hi. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for having me. Yeah, about myself, yeah, I'm a homemaker and a writer, and I'm the author of 6 books. Half Blown Rose is my 5th, and it just came out on May 31st. Um, yeah, and do you want me to speak quickly about what the book is about right now?
Sure,
Okay.
absolutely.
And quickly, I'll say Half Blown Rose is a story about a woman called Vincent who, after finding out that her husband has written a best-selling book, also called Half Blown Rose, and publishing it and divulging secrets that he never bothered to tell her over the course of their 25-year plus relationship. She has now escaped to Paris to live in her parents' apartment, and they're not there. And she starts teaching art at the Modern Art Museum, and she meets a young man in very short shorts called Lou. And yeah, she spends a year over there trying to figure out if she wants to go back to her husband Killian or if she just wants to start fresh and kind of do her own thing. So I always start out by saying I'm a homemaker, and I'm a homemaker, and I also write books.
Right. So let's start off with what gave you the inspiration to write this story? Because we have this woman. She's 44. She has two children.
Right.
And then she's married. And so she finds out this, and I think we can say this because we don't do any spoilers, but we can say this because it was on the cover, in the inside flap.
Right.
He reveals that he had a child when he was a teenager, when he lived in Ireland, right? In Dublin,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
Okay. And so we're not going to say we're not going to tell what happened and how he got to California, but he never returns to Dublin, or he doesn't know anything about this kid, and he doesn't share that with his wife. But he puts it in a book.
Yeah.
And so can you tell a little bit about what's your inspiration for the story?
Yeah, well, my inspiration for setting it in Paris was because we had just gotten back from Paris right before the world locked down because of COVID. So I knew I was going to set it there because I wanted to go back so bad, but couldn't, because we couldn't go anywhere, and we were all at our kitchen tables or in our beds or just wanting to travel, but we couldn't. So that's the reason that I set it there. The whole idea of having Killian write a book that spills all his secrets to everyone instead of the way he should have just, if he were a normal man or husband, he would have just
Yes.
told her himself. It just made it fun and exciting for me. I don't know exactly where it came from. I was just like, ooh, what would happen if I did this? And that's usually how I write my books. I usually do, ooh, what would happen if this wild thing happened? And my characters have to deal with it, you know, the fallout of the wild thing. That's kind of how I approach all of my writing.
I mean, it's pretty wild because I couldn't imagine being married to somebody for 20 some odd years. And my neighbors are reading a book that's like about my marriage.
Yep.
And then a secret within my marriage that I knew nothing about.
So I know, it's terrible.
And she
it's
referenced
terrible.
that in the story, like that there'd be book clubs talking about her. So
I know, right? I mean, who wants
right.
that?
No
It's
one.
terrible.
I mean, can you imagine?
No, I can't. I can't imagine. I hate it, and it's terrible, and that's why I had to write a whole book about it.
I was just thinking, like, I couldn't imagine my friends, like, seeing myself on Bookstagram about my marriage and my husband having this baby that I knew nothing about. But he puts it in a book. So anyway, let's talk about the title. And then I'm going to go into something else, because tell us where the title came from. I know Vincent has it as a tattoo, but let's talk about the title and why you chose to name it Half Blown Rose.
Right. So it's called Half Blown Rose because of a line in Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, which is one of my favorite books. And the line says, he gathered a half-blown rose, the first on the bush, and offered it to me. I just think it's beautiful. I'd read the book plenty of times, but I was listening to Tandy Newton read the audiobook to me when I was on a walk one day, and my feet stopped when she read that part because I just thought it was so beautiful, Half-Blown Rose. So I wrote it down in my iPhone notes. Is what I usually, like, I'll just take notes as I'm writing, as I'm walking, and take notes for my writing. And I just wrote down Half Blown Rose. And originally I was thinking of a short story collection. I was thinking of what I wanted to do with Half Blown Rose. I'll do that a lot of times with, Whiskey and Ribbons or So We Can Glow, some sort of thing like that will get sort of stuck in my head. And I'll be like, but what do I do with this thing? And then I wrote a short story called Vincent. That is basically the first chapter of Half Blown Rose. And I just couldn't stop thinking about Half Blown Rose. I just loved it. I just love the words. I just love flowers. The book is filled with flowers. And then also, I love flowers. And then also, and this is a longer conversation, but quickly I will say, a Half Blown Rose is right in between. I mean, it's not a bud and it's not a full blown rose. It's a half blown rose. And Vincent is living this life like in a liminal spot. She's in Paris for a little bit. This is not going to be her life forever. She is in an in-between spot. So a liminal space is a space that's not meant to last forever. So I usually make lists of those, but I mean like rental cars and airports and trains and stairways and these elevators and things like that. Like they're not meant to last. And so the whole idea of a Half Blown Rose came together out of my love of the words together, how they sounded, but then also I was just like kept expanding on that feeling of being in between. But because we always talk about beginnings and endings, but most of the time we're in between. Our life is in between. And so I really wanted to explore all that in betweenness and that uncertainty that she has right now.
Yeah, that's such a great, I didn't even think about it that way, talking about the in between. And I saw in the comment, Nia said that it's filled with flowers and food. And so I was going to ask you about the setting in Paris. I mean, you can tell that you've been there. Clearly, I mean, I absolutely loved everything, the details, the walking, the strolling at night on the Paris streets, the museum visits, the art, everything. You captured that so great. So you said you knew that it was going to be set in Paris. And any particular reason? Why is it because you just love the city, or it just fit the narrative of the story? Because she lives in Kentucky and you live in Kentucky.
Right. Yeah, but I want to live in Paris. So I love Kentucky. Yeah, I love Kentucky. Kentucky will always be home to me, but I also want to live in Paris. Just Paris specifically because it's the most beautiful city I've ever been in. Everywhere you look, everything is beautiful. Just literally my eyes, sometimes I'll travel other places and my eyes are starved for beauty. Nothing is beautiful in this town. Like I'll just be like, where is it? Like there's nothing pretty. Like I want beautiful. I want to see. It's selfish. I just want to look around and see everything beautiful. That's how I feel in Paris. Also, I just had wanted to go there my whole life. It's just like a dream. I would buy like a notebook. It has like the Eiffel Tower on it and be like Paris. Like when I was a little girl, like you want to go. speaking for myself, I want to go to Paris. I wanted to go there. I wanted to be in Paris. And so I was able to go to Paris, and I wanted to go back to also do more research for the book, but the world shut down. And
Right.
so it was like just a lot of different ways I could go back to Paris through the book. I could go back there through my pictures, through like pouring over these maps to make sure that I got everything right on their walks. It was just so selfish. It was just selfish, a way for me to escape the pandemic, a way for me to escape having to be at my kitchen table all the time. I love my home. I love being here, but we were prisoners. I mean, we couldn't,
Right.
we couldn't travel the way that we wanted to. And so, so there was no question that was going to be set there, because really in the book, Paris is a character of, it's a character of its own. And
Yes.
the book is a love letter to Paris. And Vincent falls in love with herself again. She falls in love with Lou. She falls in love with Paris. She falls in love with Flower. She falls in love with her freedom. She falls in love with being in this liminal space. She really does settle there, and just really take pleasure in what is happening. Although something terrible sent her there, she's very privileged. I saw someone mention the fact that I explore Black families
That
with
was my next
generational
question.
wealth.
Yes, I want you to talk about that.
Oh, okay. Did you want to say something first?
No, I want you to. I mean,
Okay.
you said you picked up the question, so I definitely wanted you to talk about that.
Yeah. It was really important for me to write a book with a Black woman who is very privileged. We see so many books about Black trauma. We see books about Black pain. I see authors writing these really beautiful, really important books, focusing on those things. I didn't want to write about those things. I really wanted to write about a Black woman who is just very fancy and rich, and her parents are wealthy and have a lot of money and enough to buy an apartment in Paris and not use it. And so I gave her all this freedom so she could explore only her own heart, only art, only Lou, only her feelings. And so often when you read books by white Americans specifically, white authors get to explore everything from dragons to their own personal feelings to motherhood to everything. But so often we're fed by the publishing industry that Black authors sort of only want to write about Black pain or only want to write about Black trauma, but there are a lot of stories to tell. So I'll just end that there, so we're not talking for 4 hours about this. But yeah, so it was important for me to write that, and then it really needed to be that way for the story, because she needs to have free time to walk around eating chocolate bread.
I mean, okay, so I absolutely love that. First of all, that I think it was Bold Books that made that point, but also it's just that trauma and being poor and all, that's not our only one story. I mean,
No.
And that's the thing that I loved about this story, is that you showed that there are Black people that have generational wealth. There are Black people that are doing these types of things. It's just not one traumatic story after another. And so I really love that aspect of the book, is that you showed her just living her life, dealing with things, but still just being able to just live her life and enjoy her life.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
So her husband is Irish.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then back at home, I think the lady that he had the baby by, she's Black.
She was Nigerian and adopted by, her name's Siobhan. Yeah. And she was adopted by Irish parents.
Okay. And so can you talk a little bit about Killian, and without revealing too much of the story, but just his character? How would you describe him? And then I want you to describe Vincent some more. Well,
thank you so much for just all of your thoughts. I really, Killian, okay, I don't read reviews. I really avoid almost all of them. Occasionally my eyes will fall on them. And sometimes when I see things, people get really mad. They get really passionate and mad at characters. And I understand, so do I, when I'm reading, when I'm watching shows. Right. But with Killian, I know that a reader may just want to hate him for what he's done. And I understand that. Mm-hmm. But she loves him. And it's the same way. She loves him, and he loves her. It's a terrible, terrible thing he's done. We do terrible things to each other, to one another in our lives, and in our families and in marriages, and we forgive one another. he has done a terrible thing, but she loves him. They have loved each other for a really long time. And he is, so when she's in Paris, he is respecting her space. She says to him, don't come to Paris. We've talked about this. Don't you dare like try to surprise me. But he sends her flowers every Saturday. He texts and he sends her love letters. He hand writes her letters. She loves his writing. He's a very good writer, as we see,
Yes,
because he has written a best-selling book that's ruined their lives. but like she adores him. She really does. So she's had enough of him and she's gotten space from him, but also she loves him. And I know that's hard for some people, especially, you know, I don't know about their personal lives if they've never felt that way for someone, but someone can drive you absolutely mad and you can hate what they have done, but still love them. And so I tried to make him as complicated as possible. I tried to show the sides of him where you could understand why Vincent does still answer his calls.
Yes.
Even when she takes a little bit, she does respond to his text. There are a couple moments where he calls her love, and that's when she's like so frustrated, like that's not fair that he did that. He'll say Vincent love, and he's like, and you know, and she's like, well, that's not fair. You called me love, so now I have to text him back. You know, she doesn't want to do it. It's like texting your ex or something. Like, I don't want to do this, but I saw something that reminded me of him, and then you kind of just get caught up. I just try to make them both as human as possible.
Right, and you definitely did that. I mean, I thought the way that, you know, because marriage, any relationship is complicated.
Yeah.
Because you talk about readers. And so I know one thing, I wasn't really mad at him. I was kind of mad at her.
Yeah.
I don't know what,
you got to be mad at somebody.
I had to be mad at somebody. Exactly. I had to be mad at someone. But I think for me, I was only, maybe this is my older brain thinking and not, but you've been married for 20 some odd years. And so I thought to myself, you're mad about something that happened when he was 15.
Right.
And so I really couldn't figure out what she was mad about. Were you mad definitely because the way that she found out.
Yeah, that's what it is. She is
that's what it is.
Right. And so I actually have a part in Killian's excerpt. So the book is filled with journal entries and playlists and excerpts. Yeah, absolutely. Also excerpts from Killian's book in the first part. And so I actually have Killian, you know, he's actually aware of that stuff. He's actually aware that Vincent is the kind of woman he could have told her, I had a child when I was 15, you know, I'm over here now, blah, blah. And Vincent would have been like, wow, that I can't imagine how hard that was for you. Okay. Right. That's what would have happened. I know it because I wrote it.
Right.
But he didn't, but he didn't. And so the thing is, yeah, Vincent's not upset that he had a baby when he was 15. That kind of stuff just happens.
It happens.
But it's because at no point over 25 years did he tell her that. Like that, you know, we talk about those things. like
yes.
That's something we can talk about. And she is the kind of person. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So I understand your frustration with Vincent too. I mean, I'm the same way when I read books. When I've written the book, I kind of want to be like, I get it, but the story I'm telling, it's serving the story I'm telling. But I totally understand the readers. You know, I understand. I do the same thing. I do the same thing.
But I still loved it. I thought Killian was very endearing, like someone said in the comments. But can you talk about what I absolutely adored, because I felt like I was being transported to different times, also present, but the music, the playlists were everything. I mean, you have some stuff from present day, back in the day. And so talk about how you infuse music throughout the entire book.
Yeah. I really wanted, and I don't know if I would have written it this way if I hadn't written it during the pandemic. That's when I wrote most of the book. But I really wanted it to be as immersive as possible. And so I knew that including the music and actually having sort of like a pause in the story really did lend itself to helping the reader get more immersed in the story. And so, you know, if a reader is the kind of person who, you know, if you take a break and you want to listen to something either while you're reading or you take a break, you're reading the book and you take a break to make dinner, it's like there's a playlist there that you can actually go to my Spotify or my website and listen to it. I've made it for you just to be more immersed in the story. It is what Vincent would have been listening to, in those times. So I have her travel playlist, or she makes jewelry, she makes earrings. So she would be in her studio, and I have the music she'd be listening to. And yeah, so I love making mixes, and what I love doing is putting an old school song. Like I put like Video by India Irie, to where you'd be like, oh, that's my jam from back in the day. And then also a new song that maybe someone has never heard before, or maybe it's out of the normal, the scope of the genres they usually listen to. And so I think there are 15 or 16 in there. I took one out, but for her dinner parties, for her travels, she and Lou end up making one together called Lust and Conversation, where they're just sending these sexy songs back and forth to each other. It's like I wanted to actually include those just so the reader can be even more immersed in the story.
And can we talk about, so first of all, I said La Rosa reads, she said the book activated all 5 of her senses, which is absolutely true. I mean, for everything. I mean, we're going to talk about the food, the wine, the food. But I was transported back to, when you're dating someone, I remember the first person that ever sent me a song. Like, I had never had that. And that just really made me think, like, wow. Yeah. I remember how I felt when that happened. Yeah. So can you talk a little bit about that? I don't know if anyone else experienced it while they were reading, but the fact to have, someone to send you a song and then you think of a song to send them back. Oh my gosh. I was just like smiling from ear to ear when I was reading that part.
Yeah. Well, I love you saying that, because I felt the same way. I did. I really did. I speak often about Half Blown Rose being a coming of age, but because so often we think of coming of age as a little girl or a little boy and someone like on the cusp of, adulthood. But I really love thinking about Vincent's story being a coming of age too. This is a new part of her life. Their children are in their 20s. They're away at college. Like, one's about to get married. They're fine. They don't need her in the same way. They would never want to hear what she's doing in Paris anyway. No. They want to be kept in the dark, which is fine by her, because she can fully enjoy herself. Yeah. So Lou sends her a song. She sends him a song that she immediately regrets sending, because once you send that song, he's gonna be at your door.
Yes.
He's like, okay, I'm on my way. But like, actually, she has a moment where she's like, has to go lie down, because she's imagining him going through these songs and being like, this is the one I want her to hear. These lyrics are how I'm feeling about her. And so it like stresses her out, but like in a good way. But just like those butterflies to be like, oh, he's thinking about me like this. And he can't say exactly what it is, but this song is gonna, do exactly the kind of work he's trying to do right now. And so I wanted her to get those like teenage butterflies from that. Of course, she's not a teenager, but she still has those feelings, those feelings. Like, my high school heart is still there. She still has those feelings. And so it's very, very exciting for her to do that. That's a very exciting part of the book for me. It's like, I write quiet romantic books that are really like, the interiority is like very important in my books, but it's like almost, if you think about like an action scene in a movie or something like that, but like that, her getting songs from him and having to go lie down because she doesn't know what else to do, so dramatic, and just like, so like, just, it was very important for me to write those scenes and to have those moments with her.
I mean, the moments for me were like, I remember I was in my car and I was listening to, and I know people probably, I was like, I know people probably thought I was crazy because I was screaming. And it's just like, I think, because you're talking about, she's still married and she's rediscovering herself. Her kids are in college. I think it resonated with me too, because like it's a coming of age later in life. Like for me, after I got divorced, later in life, my kids were in college. I felt the same way. And I think that's why the story resonated with me so much, because she's rediscovering herself. But she has the luxury of, she's rediscovering herself and she's still married. We're not going to say what happens. Yeah. But can you talk a little bit about Lou?
Yeah. So it was funny for me to even get started writing about this woman in her 40s. She's 44. I'm 43. In her attraction to a man who's 24 or in his 20s. I am not normally in any way attracted to men that young, like at all. And I actually have a moment where I have Vincent say she just never even pictured having an affair with a man this young. She had always pictured, yeah, exactly. She had always pictured having an affair with a man in his 50s, older than her, who like lived in Sweden and drove a James Bond car and lived in a glass house. Like she never pictured it being this like kid. I'm going to use that word for a second. Like just,
he's our student.
yeah, he's our student. He skateboards to class, you know, and yeah, I've been married for 22 plus years, but even just thinking about being, I haven't dated since I was in high school. My husband and I went to high school together, so I'm just like, what does that feel like? I didn't know what it would feel like for her. So, like so I let it be surprising for her is what I'm trying to say. She did not go to Paris to have an affair. She did not go to Paris. She certainly did not go to Paris to start entertaining thoughts of wanting to kiss a young man the same age as her son. That those were, I know for a fact because I wrote it, those are not things that she had ever really envisioned doing. But he just keeps at her. He keeps taking her classes because he just enjoys looking at her. He wears these shorts that just are a problem for her. I talk about it often, but like the shorts are a problem. And like, I get it. Like, I get it. Like the shorts, they get shorter, their thighs, it's very hot. She starts to sweat. It's just this kind of like, what do we do with these feelings, right? So I just have her grappling with those feelings she doesn't necessarily want to have. She starts having these feelings in the summer when she goes there, but he never comes to her apartment for the first time until October. So I'm saying it's like for 3 months, she's like, no. He's skateboarding to class. What is that? His hair, is that like, she is just trying. She's trying her best. And he just gets like sluttier and sluttier. And I'm saying those words because I mean that in a positive way. The shorts get I only use that word positively.
It's what happens. I mean, and I think that she is literally, to me, I thought, wow, she definitely is living her life, this whole different life that she lives in Kentucky. Her friends, the people that she meets, and then Luke. I mean, he complicates things for her, but I think it's I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give that. I want people to experience. You guys need to purchase Half Blown Rose and read this book. The audio is fantastic. I love the audiobook.
Oh, the audio, just quickly, I'll say the audio is so beautiful. I was nervous at first when I wrote the book because I was like, I need a beautiful Black woman to read this. And I say beautiful, I just mean anyone, of course, anyone. But I need a Black woman to read this. I need her to be able to do all the French words, all the accents. Yes. Like it was stressing me out in my mind. She does the job that she did is like just so brilliant. And then I also have a man reading Killian's parts with an Irish accent. And so like the audiobook is so immersive. And I don't know if people are like into audio. Some people are like, only read paper, only read ebook, only listen to audiobooks. But when I really love a book, when I really want to get into a book, I do all three. I always buy because I want to be surrounded by it. Yeah, I'm the same way. And so I love the audiobook so much. It's so immersive. Like it's like hypnotizing almost. It's so good. It's my book. So of course, but I mean it's my book, but the audiobook is a totally different experience. I mean,
the audiobook is top tier, definitely. Because I listen to audiobooks the majority of the time, but I like to have the book there with me. And one thing, I normally listen to my audiobooks at a faster speed, but this book, because of the accents and just everything, and it moves very slow. It's very slow, and so I slowed it down, and it is so beautiful. I love the audiobook. Absolutely.
Yeah, I do too. Thank you so much for listening. And it really, really still blows me away. Like it's such a treat to be able to listen to it, and I feel really blessed. Like I feel really blessed by my audiobook narrators. I feel really blessed. It's a totally different experience. I get to experience my own book in a different way, which is just like a dream.
Yeah. Can we talk about, you mentioned a lot of authors in the book, authors who have like spent time in Paris. And I mean,
Mhm.
I really like, aside from the music, I love when, it seems so real. It seems like me, you're talking about things that actually happen. You mentioned Baldwin, you mentioned
Mhm.
Wright. So can you talk a little
Yeah.
bit about that?
Yeah, so in doing research for this book outside of traveling to Paris, I bought so usually, I'll say quickly, usually when I'm writing a book, I'll buy a huge stack of books to just assist me in my journey of writing a book. They could just be adjacent to the subject I'm writing about, or just something I'm more interested in. I may not necessarily read those books in preparation, but something about surrounding myself with those books um, just really gets me in the mood to want to write, reminds me that I'm working on a certain book. So I'll keep those books around for like a year until I finish the book, and then I'll put them away and start with a new batch. So my big, huge stack I got for writing this book really included those artists that escaped to Paris to
Mhm.
be inspired, or had gone to Paris and kept returning. Like we have James Baldwin,
Yes.
we have Hemingway writing A Movable Feast. And so I just, because it's like once I went to Paris and came back, I got it.
Yeah.
I absolutely, if I could just go there right now to be like, oh, I kind of want to work on something, I would. Like if we could transport ourselves with a snap, that's where I would go right now, to just sit outside and think and look and live. Yeah, I was so inspired by that although Vincent is not a writer, she is doing sort of the same thing. Where are the places that we can escape to on this earth, to press pause? And for her, the place is Paris. And so yeah, I also had another book with Angela Davis, and I forgot who else it was, but it was about her also going to Paris. Like that's where she would go and press pause, to teach, to learn, to immerse herself like in the arts. And so yeah, once you start digging into people who started doing that, you'll find, oh, everyone was doing that at a certain time period. And just the dreams of being able to take a time machine and go back and see a table, James Baldwin at a table working on his book,
Yes.
or Josephine Baker, like getting ready in a mirror, like about to perform, like that kind of stuff. Like I wanted everyone to be there at once, like the ghost of these people to be like really present. And Vincent's story is sort of the same thing, but different, but sort of the same.
Yes. And
Yeah.
anyone who's ever been to Paris will absolutely see that in the book. I mean, it's just
Mhm.
so alive. And I get what you're saying. It's a love letter to Paris.
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful city. Um, I went when I was 25 years old
Hmm.
and returned when my daughter turned 25. And it was
Oh,
such a different
wow.
experience. Yeah, it was such a
Yeah.
different for her birthday. So it was such a different experience in seeing it 25 years later. But it's
Yeah.
still just as beautiful and just as, I don't know, it just kind of takes your breath away. So
Yeah.
I
That's
totally get
awesome.
everything. Yeah.
And see,
So
that's a book you could write. Going back and forth between going at 25 and then going with your daughter when she's 20. I mean, I love that.
yes, and it
Yeah.
was a totally different experience. I mean, totally different. I wanted to do
Yeah.
different things at 50 than she wanted to do at 25 for sure.
Sure, sure.
But yeah, it was a great experience. So
Yeah.
can you tell me what you enjoyed? What did you enjoy the most about writing this novel?
Really just using it as a vehicle to escape the horror of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there hasn't really been a pause to the horror of the world,
Right.
but
Yes.
but just like any art I love, and the way we use art for transportation in those
Yeah.
situations, I really did enjoy that. It was a real treat to travel back, um, and revisit that stuff in my brain, and through my pictures, I mean, I really enjoyed doing that. And also it was just nice to have something else to work on and not just constantly sit there doom scrolling or staring at the news or just worrying about whatever. And I want to add that we were very blessed to be healthy during that time too. So to be able to spend my time productively was really important to my mental health. And so it was a
Right.
treat. It was a treat to be able to do it. It's also, of course, an added pleasure to be able to sell it and for it to be a real book.
Yes.
That is also a real treat too. So I worked a lot through the pandemic, and looking back, I probably worked too much, but it was a blessing to be able to have something else to do.
Focus on. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the cover? Because it's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, did you
Yeah.
have any, like, what input did you have in this? Because it took me a minute when I was looking, I'm like, oh my God, this is so pretty. And then I realized, oh, that's that's a rose. I mean,
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, it's really beautiful, and
it
that's
really
just all
is.
like, yeah, I just really want to praise the art department at Hachette and Grand Central, who the, you know, these wonderful artists who can do that. See, that I cannot do.
Right.
I, you know, I have this wonderful, amazing, super talented team, and they do those things. So I do get a say. Contractually, I do get a say in the cover and what I do and don't like, and we work together on the cover. But
Good.
when I saw that, I don't think I even had to change that. It was just beautiful, and I loved it because it looks like a rose. It's a rose, and I love the way it goes into itself, because since Killian's excerpts are part of the book, like it's like this it's like this Inception style, like going into itself. Like I loved thinking that was like a port. It looks kind of like a portal to me. Like, and then to have the balcony there and the beautiful like rooftops and just everything about Paris, but then over it to have that rose. I mean, it's just beautiful, and it's pink, and I love how it pops like on the spine of it. Like
Yeah,
I'm so pleased. I love it. It's beautiful.
yeah, it's very pretty. It's very, very pretty. Before I will let you go, but I'm gonna have a couple more questions. How would you give me 3 to 5 words to describe Vincent? We know you told us about her. She's 44 and all this, but what's 5 words you would use to describe Vincent?
Yeah, well, she's really privileged. She's really independent. She's very stubborn.
Mm-hmm.
She's beautiful, and I say that specifically, not that all characters have to be beautiful, but Vincent is beautiful. And she's also really warm. And I say that specifically because it's something Killian remarks on in his excerpts and his book, inside the book. He instantly is like, wait a minute, like everyone's sort of drawn to her. I am too. And so he was using that to be like, I don't really know if she likes me, because she kind of is like this with everyone. And I say that, you know, I also say that because she does meet, you know, a really great group of friends pretty quickly in Paris, because it's just like her personality. I just gave her that personality. That kind of stuff makes it a lot easier for me as a writer. Because it's just the character she is. Now, that being said, all of those things I said were positive. She's not a perfect person.
Right.
Almost everyone in her life mentions to her that she can be kind of hard to read, and also that she thinks she's giving off one signal and really it's another one, and she doesn't even know she's doing that. So there's a part where she talks about even in her clothes, she wears a really silky, sexy, lacy camisole, and over it she wears like an itchy wool sweater. And Killian's like, look, even your clothes, like, you know, I want to touch you, but I can't, because then I'll get all scratched. And she's just like, what is that? Like, she doesn't know what he's talking about. But then later, Lou sort of echoes the same thing without knowing that Killian has told her that. So she's not perfect, but I'm just crazy about her.
Yes. I don't want to tell too much of the story. I'm not going to talk about the other engagement that she has with Tully, yes.
Yeah, it's okay to touch on it. Yeah, I mean, it's okay to touch on it a little bit, because Tully is the child that Killian had when he was 15, and she does start emailing him. They start to have a sort of relationship of her just reaching out, because that's the sort of person she is. That's what I mean by that.
That was so, I was like, wow, I don't know if I would have the guts to reach out to, she didn't even tell Killian that she was doing it. She did it on her own. Right. So to reach out to him and introduce herself, I thought like, wow.
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah. She really, so that's a part of Vincent's personality that was very like, here, let me do it. And, you know, I especially feel, you know, and that is like the Black woman jumped out, because that's how I feel. Here, let me do it. Just move. I'll take care of it. And it's like that. That for me is just, I mean, that is, you know, I'll put secret stuff about myself into the book. And so that's one secret I will confess. That's just my personality. Move,
Mhm.
I'll do it. She also is like, here, you messed this up, let me do it. And then she's very, her feelings that she has for Tully and Siobhan, the woman that Killian left behind, she has really strong feelings. This is a young Black girl who, and she was left alone. The father of her child left, and she was left alone in Dublin,
Yes.
without him to raise this child on her own. And so Vincent feels she does not like that.
She feels, I mean, she's very sincere.
Yeah, no, she is, and
Yes.
that's real. She does. She's like, she says to him, what if someone did this to Olive, their daughter? What if
Right.
someone did this to her? Like she's not okay with it. And so to what you were saying, her being brave enough or wanting to reach out to, to Tully, she is just doing it, just fingers crossed. I hope that he writes me back. And then when he does, she actually asks permission. She asks Tully to ask his mom for permission if she could email. So she's really not trying to like kick down the door and insert herself here. She's very good at minding her business, but she also is like, hey, I want to build a bridge here. Killian's a man. He's obviously terrible right now at communicating things, but you are forever a part of our family now that we know about you.
Right.
And if you want to learn more, talk, whatever on your terms, just let me know. And I wanted her to do that, creak the door open a little. And then in doing that, I myself really fell in love with Tully because I was like, how would he respond? What sort of person is he? Because it could go either way. He could be like, I never want to speak to you or that man again. And you would understand that. But out of that came, out of her softness, she really got to experience his softness too. And I just love their relationship.
Yeah, I did too. I really did. And then I guess everything is in this book too, because there's an aspect of race and why he wasn't able to raise or stay there and raise the son or be with them. And so yeah, it's it's a good messy. It's messy. It's a good mess though. It's like a lot of
Thank you. Thank you. No, I agree with you. Like, I love mess. I love mess in a show. Like, you'd be like, oh, how is she going to get out of this? Like, I love it. I understand if people don't, but it is not like this clean book with these like black and white emotions. It is very gray, but it's also very pink and full of color. And it very just lives in between. And no spoilers at all, but even where the story goes really lives in between. And it can be, so much can be left up to the reader. So much can be left up to our own personal feelings and what we bring to the reading experience and what we want out of our own reading experience. I am going to let the readers be smart enough to do that work on their own. I did that on purpose. It's not an accident. I didn't forget to do these things. I did that on purpose because it served the story. That is what this story is like. I have another book coming out next summer, which is nothing like this story, but Half Blown Rose is this story.
Yeah, it's not, we're not going to get a bow on top of it. So just so you know, you're not going to get the bow. But
and so often in life, we don't.
We don't. No,
yeah.
We don't. But I think when we're reading, I'm like, wrap this up for me, please. But you don't get that. And I think I love what you say, how like I could be talking, like Ania and I have been talking, Pages Galore have been talking about the book, chatting as we were reading it. And so, because where she is in her life, she may think one thing when it closes out, I'm right. Going to think another. And so that's what I love about it. Like everybody can bring their own life experiences, where they are in life, to the story.
For sure.
So you mentioned you're writing something. Can you share anything about it?
Yeah, so I have a book coming out now, almost exactly a year from now. It'll be like June, July-ish. And it's called Goodbye, Earl. And it's about a group of 4 women. It covers like 15 years. And they have had enough of the men in this town. And if you're familiar with Goodbye, Earl, the song by the Chicks, they've just had enough of men getting away with a little too much. And so we have our women decide that they will take some of the matters into their own hands.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. This is totally different. Now that's different. difference
It's
for you.
totally different. Yeah, that's what I mean. So that's why it's fun. I feel really blessed to be able to be able to do a bunch of different stuff. Yeah, it's completely different. It's a friendship book. It's a revenge book. And yeah, I'm really stoked about that. So that comes out a year from now.
I mean, one thing that I love about your books is that your characters always do the unexpected, right?
Ooh, I love that. Yeah.
They do. And it just makes you think like, I would never, but then you don't know what you would do because you're not in that situation, right? I'm
Yeah.
married. Would I go to Paris and like live my best life while my husband's over there after he said something in a book?
Well,
Would
how short is the guy's shorts is what I would ask. How short are our shorts? That's the question. It's a different. He comes walking in below the knee, ain't no question. We're not even talking. But then they get shorter and shorter, and you're like, you know what? Monogamy is so outdated. Are we really supposed to? Like, you just start making these compromises.
Exactly. But I mean, your characters definitely push the envelope because I think back to this close. What is it? This close to okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Would I pick somebody up? I mean, although he's trying to end his life,
sure,
I would try to talk them down. But after I talk them down, would I take them home with me?
No,
right.
Don't.
But you don't know. So okay.
No.
And
then like it's also the same like in my first novel, Whiskey and Ribbons, we have a woman who has lost her police officer husband in the line of duty when she's 9 months pregnant, and then the book begins 6 months later and she's hanging out with his adopted brother, her
brother,
best friend. Yeah, but and she wants to kiss him. Does she kiss him? In my book, she kisses him.
Yes, she does. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm telling you, the messiness of it all. I love it.
I love mess.
I do.
But not in my life. See, that's what's so funny. It's a totally different conversation, but not in my life. Not in my real life. It just is like the cloud in my head where I'm writing my books. I love mess. In my real life, don't bring none of that mess to me at all. But in my books, oh, absolutely. That's fun.
Like when I first got the arc, I said, okay, what's Leesa going to do now? Because I already I'm like, what is the lady going to do this time?
Okay, well, see, I'm going to send you an arc of Goodbye Earl the day we get them. So just more mess. It's just more mess. I hope that you're yeah. It's probably even messier. So because now we have four.
Imagine.
Yeah, we have 4 women, and then there's murder. So
I figured that. Okay. I figured that part. When you're talking about them being mad at the men, I figured that was part of it for sure.
Yeah. So that's new for me. Let's just start. Yeah, they're just gonna start killing men. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
It's messy. It's messy.
Yes.
All right.
So what are you reading now?
Yeah, you know what? I've been reading a lot of Haruki Murakami. So he's got, I really don't know, 20 something books. I've been reading through those, like that's really all I've been reading outside of like webtoons. But I'm really stoked for Catherine Adele West. Her new book is coming out, and so that's one I'm really excited about.
Yep. I was very honored to blurb that book, so I'm super.
Yeah. That's outstanding. I mean, she's really outstanding. The cover's so beautiful, and gorgeous. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah. So let me see. I think we had a question. I think, Nia, you said, how does it feel writing your own reviews? Huh.
Oh, I don't write my own reviews. Did I say something? Did I say something that sounded like that? Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay. I don't even read. Maybe you mean read? Yeah, I definitely don't. Yeah. So my publicist and my team will send me things I occasionally will see some things, but I never go to Goodreads and look for my books and then read those reviews.
And that's just such a great thing too. I wouldn't either.
No, absolutely not. No, I would suggest that no one do that unless they have some kind of weird desire to feel terrible, which I guess is a thing, but I don't.
Right. Who wants to hurt their own feelings, right? And how do you feel about all the press you've been getting? Because it's been fabulous press. I mean, weren't you in Times Square?
It was a Penn Station billboard. Yeah. Yeah, that was because of Amazon selecting it for editor spotlight, and then also the editorial director for Amazon Books, she selected it for her inaugural book club pick, And then
Awesome.
yeah, it's also Barnes and Noble Book of the Month this month. So yeah, no, I mean those things are just a dream come true. It's just amazing. I have an amazing team, and they make that magic happen. I don't know a lot about it. I'm just very, very thankful, because in order for people to be interested in a book and want to buy a book, they have to see the book a lot. And
Yeah.
so what happened this month is that a lot of people get their eyes on the book, and so yeah, that's amazing.
That's incredible. And I'm going to close out with your earrings are fabulous. Is that why Vincent made earrings?
Thank you. I do love a huge dangly earring, and these are rose petals. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I see them.
thank
They
you.
are gorgeous. And so is this is what inspires? You always have nice earrings though.
Thank you.
Yes.
I feel like I feel like I'm not ready to do anything until I put my earrings in. So
Yes. And
then I'm ready.
I thought about that when you mentioned that she made earrings in the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. I know. I love that we have talked so often that you can pick up on little things like that, because me and your sister talking about skincare and Tally's skincare routine and this was okay. You're like, that was your skincare routine. And I was like, see, only you and like a couple people in my life would know that.
I mean, so we're going to tell a funny story before we close out. So we met over with Skin Ribbons. And so
Yeah.
we were following each other. And I think we follow each other on our personal pages as well, right? On my personal
Yeah.
page. And so my sister inserts herself into this talking about, she's, oh my gosh, she likes a lot of skincare. And so they became Instagram friends talking about skincare. And I thought it was the funniest thing. They both are skincare. They love skincare.
Yeah.
She's always on your page looking for skincare.
So then when I put, so in my previous novel, This Close to Okay, I basically write out my main character's skincare routine, because it's really important to like her mental health. And it was so funny that you said that, because you were like, okay, let's talk about the skincare routine, which I'm always down to talk about, period. So
Favorite product you're using right now?
Really, this Pixie like polish mask and this Pixie in steam facial. So it's like I get into the shower, I put it on my face, take my shower, wash my hair, then wash it off. It like heats up from the hot water and whatever. And it's like, I mean, come on.
Okay. And what's it called?
It's Pixie
Okay.
in steam facial. I also want to shout out a watermelon sleep mask. I sleep in a sleep mask and it smells like candy. And then you wake up and your face is so soft. Okay. We need to do a whole like Instagram
we
live.
Do.
I
just had a dermaplaning facial done and it was fantastic.
Well, you look beautiful all the time anyway.
Okay.
So yeah, we're gonna have to do it, and then I'll hold it up and I'll be like, in this one, and then I need to get those people in on that so they'll send me free stuff. We'll figure that out. Yeah.
Let's figure that out behind the scenes. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us. I'm so excited that you were our first book for our summer reading series. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Take care. Have a great summer.
Bye-bye. Thanks. You too. Bye, y'all.